What is going on, guys? We got another installment of TechBot After Dark. Of course, we are on a different time because I felt, I don't know, just doing a lot of live streams over the weekend, and especially since I work late nights, it just was easier to where I had a Saturday night off, and if I could fall asleep early, it definitely helped out a little bit more. Excuse me. So that's where we're going to change it up a little bit, kind of do something a little different, and go from there. Hopefully some of you guys made it to the earlier stream with me and Wayne. Had a lot of fun, talked a lot of information about Funko, and gave away some Funko Pops. So I'm looking to possibly start doing some giveaways on this live stream pretty soon, but still working on details of that. And we'll get you stay tuned for that as soon as we can. As of right now, I'm going to bring in a good friend of mine. He is as a lot of you guys know, I grew up in Massachusetts. I'm a Boston boy at heart. I just hate the snow, so that's why I live in Florida now. And so that's that. But we're going to bring a good buddy. He's like a brother from another mother out there in Massachusetts. We always have a good time. I'm going to bring in Will B Poppin. What's happening, brother?
What's going on, buddy? Happy to be here.
Yes. Yeah, I don't know if you knew that. That's why I won't go back to Massachusetts. I seriously hate the snow.
Well, I'm not a huge fan of it, but it's got its ups and downs. When it comes to snow, like the scenery can be pretty beautiful when the snow's coming down, everything's covered. It can look really, really beautiful. But then there's other times when there's 26 inches on the ground and it's still snowing, and I'm trying to pull into my driveway when there's 2.5 feet of snow and I can't get in my driveway. I leave it halfway in the driveway and the street and just go inside because that's what you can do.
Before recently, when my last winter in Massachusetts was back in like '96, and it was a year that it was like the worst most snow that fell. We were in school until like the very end of June. And it's one of those things where when snow first starts coming down, it's like great. You get a snow day. It's like awesome. You go ahead and make some money, shovel some old people's driveways. They feed you. They pay you. It's always fun. But when you have like 2 or 3 blizzards a week, it starts to get just annoying. And nowadays, I actually feel bad for the kids nowadays. They don't get snow days because y'all got computers and Zoom and all that other stuff. They can still do all that stuff from home.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Like, we used to complain when yes, I'm like, I don't have to go to school today. But then it's just like, no, but you have to go to school in the summer now because you did it. So wait, I don't want to go back then. Well, it's you want the days off now with the snow, or do you want it in the summertime? And so it's like,
and you only got so many freebie days. School. They knew that there was going to be snow days, so they gave you some freebie days. But if it was a bad winter, you were just tacking that right on to the end of the school year. It's like, man, that sucks. But
I definitely didn't mind having the snow days back then. That's for sure.
And for me, with my wife grew up in California, and my kids were born here in Florida. So my kids have no idea what snow is like. My wife does. We've gone out, in the snow areas before. She loves it because she's California. She's Bay Area, California. So they don't naturally get snow.
It's new. It's like being like an endangered species in like the wild. You're like, wow, I've heard so much about it, but I've never seen it before. It's like, it's fun to look at for a little bit, but then when it comes to attack, it's annoying.
And so, you get 2 or 3 snowstorms, and even if you got a plow that plows out your driveway, then it's just stacking up, one snowstorm after another, and it's just annoying.
But I think it was 2 or 3 years ago, we got our entire snowfall in a span of 2.5 weeks.
Oh, wow.
We broke the records here when, like, in a matter of 2.5 weeks, we had 3 or 4 different blizzards, and they all put down 2 feet of snow. So we had our entire winter totals in a matter of 2 weeks, and that was our winter, and then it was over. But we got all the snow within a span of 2 weeks, and I don't mind. Like, I'm a shoveler. I really don't use the snowblower too much, so I'm out there when it's a foot, 3 inches, or 8 feet out there. I'm using like that shovel because I like the shovel, I like the rake, I like to do all that stuff. So but yeah,
my back hurts just thinking about it.
Oh, trust me, my back hurts. I just did leaves the other day, and I have more leaves. I got 2 weeks left of leaf pickups to do before winter, and then they don't come back. So I gotta.
In the last house I lived in, we had a bunch of trees, and we used to get really bad with leaves. Luckily, where I live now, we don't have a lot of. And I've got like 3 trees in my backyard, and none of them really drop anything. Because out here in Florida doesn't really. Florida doesn't participate in seasons. To be honest with you, they just don't. We don't have 4 seasons. Basically, technically we have 3 seasons. 2 of them are kind of
and then it's sunny. Those are your 2.
We have 3 seasons, and 2 of them technically happen at the same time. You've got the wet season, which basically happens between May and November. And when I say wet season, that's basically when the hurricanes happen, or also known as hurricane season. But you can set your watch every single day to the rain. Between 3 and 5 o'clock every day, you're going to get a downpour. It just happens. Well, from November till May, it's called the dry season. Although we still get rain, but we also call that snowbird season. That's the 3rd season. All the people from up north come on. All the old people from up north come on down south, and then it's craziness because then they can't drive and it's hard to get around, and so we call that snowbird season. But yeah, that's pretty much what we get. We get dry season and wet season. We don't get the normal 4 seasons. But what's funny is I remember when I was a kid, when it was got to 60 degrees, we were taking our bikes out of the basement and going to ride. And when it was 60 degrees, actually, we're like, oh, this is great temperatures. You get to 60 degrees out here in Florida, these people are getting all their winter clothes out and everything like that. It's funny as hell out here when it gets to 60 degrees.
That's funny, like you say that, because when it snowed the first time, the day before Halloween, we got 4 inches. We got more than what they were expecting for my house and stuff. And sure enough, I'm outside shoveling snow in sneakers, shorts, and a t-shirt because it's still kind of warm out, but it snowed. So I'm out there in my shorts shoveling. I wear shorts as long as I possibly can. I go from spring to summer, and I wear my fall stuff until it's literally I can't anymore. So yeah. I'm that guy that's out there in shorts and t-shirt and a hoodie in the summertime sometimes,
You would be fine, because basically I could probably count on one hand how many actual cold days we get a year. And when I say cold, the coldest it will get out here is maybe 40 degrees.
That's what I'm saying. Cold for you guys is 58, and I'm me, I'm having a barbecue.
Yes, 58.
I'm going outside the pool if the sun's out. You know what I'm saying? That's 58.
Our perfect temperature is, but you got to remember, we also go through the July time, which my wife actually calls, July and August the 7th circle of hell, because it is so stinking hot and humid. It's absolutely nuts.
So that should be called set the thermostat to 56 degrees.
Yeah. You keep the house at 56 degrees at that point.
Yeah.
But yeah. So, anyways, I miss it back there. I miss going up to we used to go up to Boston and being able to watch my teams constantly and stuff like that. But I think being gone for so long, I've kind of gotten used to it. And I've always get people that tell me, oh, how are you from Massachusetts? You don't have that accent. And I tell people, you got to remember, I left Massachusetts when I started high school.
Yeah.
And I went to San Jose, California. That was a culture shock in itself, was because, San Jose, California is a melting pot of every different, type of nationality there is in San Jose, California. And, I remember it's actually the first time I ever heard the phrase, and you know what I'm talking about. But I remember being in school and people found out, could tell I was from Massachusetts. And I actually had somebody walk up to me and say the line. I'm like, what are you talking about? I have no idea what you're talking about. and
I
like
think I know what you mean.
yeah, park the car line. I'm like,
oh, that one. Okay.
I'm like, I'm not doing it. And then, just being in high school, a sophomore in high school, you ask for, a piece of paper. People are like, what? They give a piece of paper, with the Massachusetts accent. And, so I think after, being a high school kid, you I had to adapt the accent out just to survive.
What's the thing? You can lose it if you haven't been here for a while, because I've noticed, like, with people, that when they surround themselves with certain people for a certain amount of time, they can kind of take that accent on as theirs after a while. But when they've been talking with certain like people and everything like that, that can happen. You can lose it and you can kind of transfer to something else. And then, like when me and like you talk, you can hear like it comes back depending on who like you're talking to and stuff like that. I mean, I get that all the time. I can have like a regular conversation with someone and it doesn't come out too much. But then when I'm talking about certain things and certain words, it comes out. Like I can say water, and you don't like. What did you just say?
Yeah.
Did you say water? No. I said water because I want H2O. I want the water. Okay. There is no R at the end. It's just water. Okay. That's how it is. So
yeah, I had to move that on out and stuff like that. But I guess it's my wife, and I don't even notice that there are some words that I just still will naturally add that A to. It's just how I know, and stuff like that. Especially, I think I was telling her about, as a kid, I used to love going to the Cape. It was one of my favorite places to go to. And we said something about, the islands. I was like, oh, what do you mean? Martha's Vineyard? She's like, what? It's like Martha's Vineyard. And she's like, isn't it Martha's Vineyard? I'm like, whatever.
Whatever. It doesn't matter. You say it how you want to say it. I'm going to say how I want to. Did you understand what I meant, though?
What I was talking about.
Right? Okay.
But yeah, there's certain words out there that still just it's just part of me and stuff like that. But yeah. But yeah, like I said, I had an opportunity. I was thinking about going up there, and I was just like, no, I can't do the snow again. I refuse. But like I said, I like it down here in Florida. Other than the hot,
we gotta come back up during like the if you don't want to visit during like the summertime, like late spring, early fall is always a good time too, because it's still nice out before the transitions.
What's funny is we were actually talking about my aunt lives up in New Hampshire and in Manchester, and we were, before the whole COVID thing happened last November, we were talking about taking a road trip up there during Thanksgiving week and going to have Thanksgiving with them and stuff like that. 'Cause it's been years since I've been up to New Hampshire, and they haven't met my kids yet, so we're like, oh yeah, let's do that. And then of course the whole COVID thing happened, and that kind of screwed everything up.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, it could be worse. I don't know. I would say it could be worse, but it's been pretty worse this year.
Yeah, I'm not gonna like jinx it and say that it can, it can get worse, but let's just,
Yeah, I'm gonna say let's hope we've gone through the worst of it.
Yeah.
But
let's hope the worst is behind us.
Yeah, I know a lot of people, especially out here. A lot of people are. I think with the whole COVID thing, it happened. I think that a lot of people see promise for 2021. I think COVID still is going to be something we're going to have to deal with in 2021. But I think people see promise. Whereas when people see and think about the year 2020, it's just you think of a shit show.
Yep.
Complete shit show. And I think that's what the hard part about it is, and I think that's why everyone's so kind of just wants to get through these holidays and just get started new. We have a new, fresh year, something possible good coming in the future. So
yes,
who knows?
But like the thing with that is that I think 2022 is going to be perfect. Most of 2021, I think, is going to be still dealing like with this, getting the vaccine, but still dealing with it. But I still think the majority of 21 is going to be, getting over the hump and then the tail end of this. So it could take potentially some people are saying all of 2021 and then 2022 is going to be like a new normal.
Yeah,
whatever that looks like.
Yeah.
But I mean, I mean, 2020 is just a wash for me. 2021 is. I mean, if we have to do this for a year and a half, that sucks.
Yeah.
You know, it sucks.
The only thing that ever surprised me about the whole COVID thing. Now I'm a lot of part, maybe not so much at home, but when I'm out and about, I'm one of those real like OCD people about washing my hands and stuff like that. And when this whole COVID thing happened, and you got disinfectant going off the shelves and stuff like that. I mean, I always keep disinfecting my car. I started thinking to myself, I'm like, wait, hold. Soap selling out, disinfectant selling out. What the hell have all you people been doing this whole time? I probably wash my hands like 50 times a day.
I would say I've always had sanitizer, but before they told us if you can't wash your hands, use sanitizer. I'm like, I've always had sanitizer in like my car. I've always had extra, like the pumping of sanitizer here because I have them in rooms and I have them like just for storage. Like so if I run out, I need something.
Yeah.
So just I mean, I've always washed my hands and sanitized. It's just I don't know.
That's what
wash your hands common sense.
That's what always surprised me. I'm like, what? I mean, that just scares me now that so many people weren't using hand sanitizer and washing their hands as much when it was like a new thing. I mean, maybe it's just because it's brought to light. I don't know. But like I said, other than inside the house, especially when I'm out and about, it's why I wash my hands, like, especially at work. I have a problem with feeling grime on my hands. It bothers me. So I wash my hands like 50 times a day, probably.
Oh, yeah, no, like I sanitize before I go in the stores. While I'm in the stores, as soon as I get out, like I use the pinky to open up the door, get the sanitizer, put my stuff in the car, sanitize again. So because me, like, I really honestly, I don't give two shits if I get it. You know what I'm saying? I just don't want to get it and give it to the family members that I see on a week-to-week basis because I do things for certain people.
Well, you still do. You used to do that lunch with your dad on Sundays, right?
Yeah, I still see my dad who, if he gets it, he wouldn't survive it. My grandmother, I go shopping for her. I see my mother, every week and stuff like that. So just like, I need to be careful not only for myself, but to the people that are, more, what's the word for it? More like immune, like the people that can't really handle it if they get it, Me, I can probably fight it off and beat it, but I'd rather than have one of them, like them get it. So I'm super careful.
Yeah, I think everybody needs to be nowadays. But anyways, I know
there are still some people that are not taking it seriously, and I understand your point of views, but you have to look at someone other than yourself and like think about the next person that potentially could get it because.
Oh, I agree with you. And like, I mean, to each his own. I mean, I agree with you 100%. I also want to sit. I like to sit back on that spot of you're human. You're American. You have the right. You have the right to make your own decisions. Whether I think it's wrong or not, you still have the right. But I mean, it would just be better to have that courteousness for your fellow human. That's the way.
We have the right to do whatever we want because it's like this is America, but you also have the right to kind of protect your neighbor, yourself, your family, regardless of, wait, they're telling me to wear a mask and sanitize. Do it. No, I don't want to do it because I want to rebel. No, don't do it. Just give in. You don't like it, then don't go out. Stay home then.
But you got to remember too. I remember when I lived in Massachusetts. I lived in Worcester. We lived in an area of town. We didn't. Nobody had a whole lot of money. But
Worcester.
But or it's better known as the three-decker capital of the world. But in our neighborhood, like on our street, everybody looked out for one another. Hell, we had a little Italian place at the end of the street. The owner lived across the street, and if he ever saw us kids he had every parent's phone number in the neighborhood, and but everyone looked out for one another. Now, when I moved out of Massachusetts, with that type of idea that your neighborhood watched out for each other and kept an eye. And a lot of times in the summertime, as a kid, our rule was you had to be home by the time the streetlight came on. Or actually, you had to be on the porch by the time the streetlight came on. But within our neighborhood, we were all sitting on the stoops. So as long as even if we were at the neighbor's house, as long as we were on the stoop with them, by the time the streetlights came on, we were all good. So it was watching out for one another. But when I moved to California, it was like, dude, nobody talked to each other at all. It was like it was just so different, culture shock and just a different way of living that I was used to. So.
Dude, man, that's funny that you talk about the street lights because where we used to chill on the stoop in Charlestown, it was the street before my street, and the lights used to turn on first there. So when we were chilling on like Brighton Street, which is like the first street, you had to go down, take the left, and the left to get on mine. Legit, the street lights turned on first there and kind of went to like the last two streets in Charlestown, and literally once our street, like once Brighton popped up, I had to get home. Because I couldn't let my mother yell my name. Because you could hear it from like the block away. Like I couldn't let her yell my name to be home for dinner and homework and all this stuff. So once we all saw the first street lights on, we all just like, yo, see you tomorrow. And we all just jet our own way to get to our house. Yeah, because no, that street light thing is no joke. No one had cell phones back then. It was as soon as like the street lights come on, get your ass home.
Well, back then it was also, if you didn't get home by the time your streetlight came on, you got your ass whooped. There wasn't no, I'm going to take something away. No, you got your ass whooped. That's how you learn that rule real fast.
Yep.
And the thing is, like, back then, at least in my neighborhood, you didn't have to worry about a neighbor, catching you, hitting your kid or something like that. Because it was being bad. And some of them would be like, what'd he do? Oh, I'll hold him for you. Why you smack him around? And that's how the neighborhood was. How my mom used to give permission to other neighbors that if they ever saw me doing something, hit him.
Yeah, my mother told one of my friends' fathers that if you see my son and you catch him, lay whooping on him for me. I remember like my buddy's like he told me like, dude, my dad's looking for you. Like you're in trouble. And I'm like, all right, well, I'm staying here tonight, man, just so you know.
But yeah, that's what I had missed. That's what drove me back at least to the East Coast. Because even here in my neighborhood here, I mean, it's not still the same thing, but I have some good neighbors and stuff like that. We all still talk and things like this. And a lot of times in the evening, you see everybody sitting out in the front of the houses. But still nothing like it was back then. But yeah, when I went to California, nobody talked to each other. It was crazy. But I know we've had some people bouncing in and out of the chat real quick. I know Tori from Unuseful Unboxing was in here early. He wasn't talking his normal crap as he usually does, but.
Well, I mean, he's outnumbered to two Bostons and one New York.
Oh, yeah, he always is. He can't talk crap anyways. He always loses that battle. I know my buddy Wanko popped in and out real quick. I don't know if he's still in there, but he had popped in, and we got Chris from K&L Collectibles popping in. And of course, we got my good friend over here Collecting with Red. So he was in our live stream earlier. He's a great dude. But I think Chris said he was he's got to make a new video tomorrow finally, and I've been putting together a 600 subscriber giveaway. So that I saw you hit that 600 subscriber. Congratulations, man. Definitely keep going. It's funny. YouTube. You look at YouTube on the outside, without really getting into it and stuff like that, because. You gotta. I've seen two different people that do YouTube. One that looks at YouTube and goes, "Oh, I can make all kinds of money," and blah 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 blah, but doesn't realize how much time and effort you have to put into it. And then the rest, a lot of money. And then the rest of us understand that this is going to be a time-consuming thing, and you're going to have to put a lot of time. You're going to have to put a lot of money. And could you put it? I've seen YouTubers go in 10 years, and it's finally starting to pay off. That's 10 years ago into it. But, I remember getting into, I started noticing into YouTube and stuff like that. And, I started looking at these numbers, of course, you got to hit, what to be able to monetize. That's for everyone's first goal is to try to monetize. Well, you got to hit 1,000 subscribers
and a certain amount of time, right?
4,000 watched hours within a 365-day period. Oh, now, the more I started getting into this, the more I started realizing I am not going to worry about subscribers because those will slowly creep in and come. That's not the hard part. Getting 4,000 watched hours within a 365-day period, now that's the challenge.
Yeah, so you can be over 1,000, but you have to have 4,000 within 365. So it can be a year and you're not there, but you can get there
within the last 365 days. You have to have had 4,000 watched hours.
Now, can you just put all your videos on a playlist and just let them play one after the other? I mean, that's a lot of hours just for one person to do it.
I mean, you technically could, but that's where you see a lot of people. That's where you see a lot of people like, start doing. Like, I mean, yeah, I'm doing multiple streams because you start doing the streams because live streaming helps you build up those hours.
Because you can get 15, 20, 30 people watching, and if it's an hour or two live, and 40 people came in, but then there was a total of like 80 that didn't stay the whole time. So it works out. So that's why when people do like the live streams a lot, those are helping like their numbers, climb.
But to a certain extent, it doesn't, because I've met some people, that weren't getting a lot of subscribers, and they'll message me and say, hey, could you take a look at my channel and see maybe what I'm doing, or maybe give me some pointers. I'm not going to name any names, but I know there's a couple channels that I talk to. I look and it's like, I mean, I know comics are one thing, but if you're doing Funko Pops and you're only doing live stream, you're doing something wrong. Because I think to a certain extent, you still need to be a content creator. You still got to make content. Yeah. But I think if you mix up videos and live stream at the same time, that helps out. So I think that's where it comes.
Plus, you want to kind of bring them in. So even if you have a 5-minute video or a 3, like I have a couple of my sports ones that are 3 to 4 minutes long, something quick that you can just watch before. But then I have 20-minute ones and 25 minutes, and then the live I did was almost 4 hours long, I think. So it's like I don't want to go make videos too long, but depending on what it is, I ramble sometimes, so the video might stretch out a little bit, which I really don't care. But I like to make it so, because I don't want that person to have to sit there or scroll through the entire thing just to see what I got. I try and make it somewhat entertaining, but I don't care if it's a 4-minute video or a 30-minute video. I want them to kind of enjoy a little bit.
I usually try to get over 10. I like to get over 10 at least with my videos, because there is a thing in there, especially when you get to monetize and stuff like that. YouTube wants you to at least go, a 10. A 10 is a good number. But by the way, Tori, yes, I did see your Florida comment, and we I told you we don't participate in seasons. It's just, yes, we are the weirdest bipolar seasons of anywhere I've ever lived at. But and Chris, you are more than welcome. If anyone that is in this chat, I know there's not a lot of people, but anyone that is in this chat, if you guys have not checked out K&L Collectibles, definitely get over there and check him out. He does some collecting of stuff that, I mean, I think it's cool, but I'm just not ready to go down that rabbit hole right now. Like the tiny ghosts, I think they're cool. They're expensive as hell compared to a Funko, but. I know you guys, but I won't go down. I'm not going down that rabbit hole yet. And then I know, I saw Red here said he was doing. He's a newer YouTuber, starting to grow and stuff like that. Spread your giveaways out. I learned the hard way, and I think every new YouTuber does learn that, and maybe do it. Try. Maybe you don't get the same experience, but a lot of times people get the same experience because I always talk to people about it and they're like, yep, had that happen. you know, spread out your giveaways, because a lot of times there are a lot of people out there, especially on Instagram, that will only follow you when you're doing giveaways.
It's
And
the
it was
same thing
funny.
on. It's the same thing on YouTube too. It's
Yeah.
on every platform, unfortunately.
And the thing is, once you stop doing giveaways, you start seeing that number trickle down.
Yeah.
So that's why I've gone sporadic. That's why I've gone the route of you know, doing the Patreon only giveaways. You know, because I know those people are dedicated and stuff like that. So I want to be able to give them a nice big item. I don't mind doing that from time to time, or like the one me, Wayne, and Poppin Duos is doing for JKL to try to help promote him a little bit. I don't have a problem doing giveaways. You know, I just don't want to base my channel around giveaways. Does that make any sense?
Yeah.
You know, but like I said, to me, I like doing giveaways because to me, it's giving back to you know, your followers. It's fun. It's actually kind of pleasing to a certain extent.
And look, the other thing that I'll add to that is that, you know, don't feel pressure to do giveaways if you reach 50 or 100. Only do it if you're comfortable doing it, because honestly, it can get overwhelming because that pop is coming out of your pocket. That shipping is coming out of your pocket. So if you're trying to be nice and get the followers, you have to legit all that pop, like all the pop and the shipping comes out. For my 200 subscriber live that I had I think 9 or 10 things that I had to send out. Mm-hmm. So, and then all the other giveaways. So just like, it can get overwhelming sometimes. So do what you're comfortable doing, and don't feel like you have to do a giveaway every 50 subscribers or every 100. If you want to do that, go ahead.
I did that big one at my 500 subscriber, and seriously, like I mean, if you watched, I gave away like 6 pops, and then I started giving away extra stuff. We had so much stuff I was giving away because my wife does all the shipping and everything like that, that it became like we ended up paying like over $100 just to ship everything out that was won. It was crazy. Oh, I've got 3 of those.
Yeah, but this one was a winner for me, you know, for me.
Yeah,
for you.
Right. You know, when you did that video, though, I forgot I sent it to you, to be honest with you.
Did you?
I did. I forgot I sent it. All of a sudden, I seen you do a video of a mail haul, and my logo was on there. I'm like, what the hell did I send to you? So I was like, oh, damn, that was a while ago. That was from the 500. That was like in July. That was like 3 months ago.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, dude, I didn't know. I just, because it arrived a while after that. I'm like, oh, maybe he just forgot or something. I'm like, me personally, I don't care. I'm not gonna like go and like hound you. Like, if I get it, I get it. If I don't, I don't. And I just look on like the porch. I think it was a few weeks, like 3-4 weeks later, and I get home from work and I see a package on the porch. I pick it up. I'm like, Power Rangers and shit.
Well, what's funny is with that, because I had so many items, we actually had to spread out the shipping over about a 2 or 3 week span because it just got expensive. It just got really expensive. So I'm like, I got to spread this out a little bit. And
it can add up quick, especially if you're shipping, you know, when you're shipping from Florida to here, and then from Florida to California. I know from here, like, you know, like from me to California is pricey. For me past, you know, Florida, like going west, it like once you get towards Alabama and beyond, like that price goes up drastically.
Yeah.
So it like doesn't matter if it's a regular size pop box or something else. It can cost you money. So
and now we're just talking domestic here. We're only talking domestic here. I've shipped to Japan. I've shipped to my buddy out there in K Titus. I just recently shipped one to Australia. That shit was friggin' expensive. I shipped stuff to the UK.
See, I usually do US only, like when I do giveaways. But if someone enters and I know that they're a supporter and like a true one, like, you know, like if K Titus won one of my giveaways, even though I said US only, I would send him something.
Oh, but he's a fantastic guy. He supports everybody.
Oh yeah, and he's such a nice guy. I've talked to him, like, you know, he's just, you know, he's a great guy. He supports everybody. So,
And I don't know if it's just me, but I told him, man, I love watching his videos because he makes me laugh. The craziness is just that weird. He's kind of like, he reminds me of. He kind of reminds you of that one like science teacher that you had in high school that was just slightly out there a little bit, but it was great because he was so far out there. You learn so much from him because
while having
you
fun,
wanted to see what the hell was going to happen next.
Yeah.
And that's why I feel with Kay, and he texts me, probably a couple times a week, and some days I could be having a bad day, or something like that, and he helps me out, and but he's a fantastic supporter, and he helps out everybody. He's just got a great heart and stuff like that. So I know he recently found some work finally, which is great for him. I guess it doesn't start till the beginning of the year. But for him just to get out there and do it, I mean, he spends a whole bunch of volunteer hours at the hospitals and stuff. So yeah, I mean, the guy's just got one of the best hearts out there, so I try to give him as much support as I can because he's just a good guy. But we have there's a lot of good people in our community, that I think are great because I don't think there's really anybody that, if somebody came to me and asked me for advice or something like that, I'll give advice all day and try to help you out and stuff like that. That's why me, Wayne and Poppin Doers are doing that thing for JKL, because JKL is another one that the dude just, he'll go on everybody's lives all the time, not ask for a whole lot. He's done 2 hot, spicy challenges with me and Wayne and just did them because he enjoys doing stuff with it, and he's just a fantastic guy. So if we can try to help him out, we definitely are going to do that. But OTT with G, what's going on, man? Hey, don't forget, check out that replay from earlier because you actually won the Patreon giveaway. So that you can go on. I'm not going to show you what you won. So you got to go watch the live stream so that way you can see what it is that you won. But you won mine. So I'll be shipping yours out probably this week sometime.
But you still have to watch the whole replay though, because there's going to be.
You still got to watch the whole replay because I'm not going to tell you what it is.
That's right. And you have to message him what the item is in order to win it. So you got to go find out where he drew your name so you can win it. Right, you got to go watch it.
No, we don't do that to the Patreons, but yeah, it's fantastic. And the thing is, I think with YouTube too is you really got to find a place in it that you really just enjoy it. For me, this is it started as something that I knew that I needed an outlet. I needed something, and I was always working a lot and doing all this other stuff. And, when I was back in California in high school, I still had my all high school friends and stuff like that, but they're all back there. And I didn't really have a lot of friends over here. So I need to find some sort of outlet, something to you got to always find something to keep the mind occupied. Yeah. And, I started getting to YouTube. I originally was going to do a written blog. Okay. I did one tech review writing a blog, and my wife turned to me and said, "You're not meant for writing." She's like, you talk a lot, so you just need to start doing vlogs. And I thought, I'm a big tech person, so I thought, oh, maybe I'll do tech reviews. I was really against doing unboxings when I started YouTube. I was like, I think unboxings are dumb, and I was having a hard time at the time. Of course, I was focusing on subscribers, and I'm like, man, I'm thinking. Tech reviews are not the place to get subscribers because a lot of people will just check out a tech review to see if they want to buy something or not. They
won't subscribe to it for the most, unless it's one of a really amazing channel that does everything, and then they'll subscribe to see what the new, review is and stuff like that. Exactly. But it's a small circuit for the most part.
So I told my buddy about it. He's like, dude, why don't you do a nerd channel? I'm like, what do you mean a nerd channel? He's like, dude, like some Funkos, some mystery boxes, stuff like that. I'm like, all right, I'll try it. I didn't know anything about Funkos at the time, and I just kind of got into it and really, really started to enjoy it. And that just kind of took off from there. Got in the community, Started meeting a lot of people, and it was fantastic. But you got to find some sort of place of peace with YouTube and something you enjoy. It can't be, if you're going to put this much time into something, you can't just be like, well, I'm just in it for, to try to gain some money. You got to be in it to enjoy it. You're spending a lot of money.
The majority of people don't get that, like the success with YouTube. It doesn't happen to everyone. And in order for you to actually make money that is like, well, you can actually see it for the most part, like of substance, you have to really get your numbers and view and everything and put in a lot of work and time. It's not easy to get those numbers. Like the amount of work that franchise Kicks and Top Pops and those guys do, like it's not just shoot a video, make a quick thumbnail, and you're done. No, this is, they work their job or they do what they're doing, and then all their free time is editing and thinking, and, all that type of stuff.
And until you can make the channel viable to go full time, and then you just got to start putting videos out daily. And I just thought it was funny because I didn't even notice it at first. We were just giving Titus some props and stuff like that about how funny the videos are, and he just showed up. I'm like, oh, that's awesome. Of course, he missed all the props we just gave him, but he knows it. He knows it. Ken's
up about 4 minutes. We were giving you praise.
Oh, exactly. Okay, he's awesome, man. But I was trying to trail back. So, Reddit said something about you was talking about stickers. Ordering custom stickers, tests in the water. BOP suggested it. I've done the stickers before, and I really do plan on getting some more pretty soon. It's just I've had so many things from it going on in my own personal life right now that I've just kind of, I haven't been able to focus. I've barely been able to focus on that. I want to get a sticker of my that logo I had made that I've been using a lot now.
Yeah, that one.
The Captain America one. I was impressed. I hired some guy. I hired some guy off of Fiverr to do it, and I messaged a dude first. I was like, he's like, oh, I do people popped. I'm like, so I messaged him. I was like, hey, would you be able to make this logo into a pop? And I sent it to him. He goes, oh yeah, I could do that. So I was like, all right, I'll hire you to do it. And he sent it back. He's like, man, that was a lot harder than I thought. But I was like, dude, it came out freaking awesome. So I'm happy with it. Wait, what's Tori going on about? I'll be doing my first tech review next week. Okay. Wait, hopefully you're doing something good.
All right, battery operated dildo. The radio.
It's got the Yankee logo on it.
It's got a built-in AM FM radio in it. Plays music with surround sound.
Well, what's actually funny about that is I've been that last tech review I did. I pretty much just stopped doing tech reviews, but I threw one out. I don't know, maybe a month or two ago, and that's because I had I did a year ago,
a solar powered thing that you had.
Power bank. Yeah, it was a power bank. But see, I'd done a review on a power bank like over a year ago, and I gave it horrible reviews. I mean, it was a shit piece of product, and I threw it away after I was done the review because I was pissed off with it. And so this lady out of the blue said she saw the review. She's got a similar one that is better, and if I'd be willing to do a review on it. I said, I've been looking at still trying to get something new, trying to find something worthwhile. If you want to send it on over, I'll go ahead and give a review. So I did, and I enjoyed it. And then she contacted me again recently and said, oh, we liked your review. My friend wants you to do one on like a one of those jet flosser things. And I was like, hey, I like that. It's cool. But, tech reviews aren't my main thing anymore. And, it just doesn't seem like it's up my alley. I'm not in that just to get free stuff.
Yeah.
So I was like, I turned it down. I was like, if you come up with some like smart home type stuff, maybe I might be into it. But I'm like, nah, I'm not that worried about it. Wait, what are you talking about? It may actually be a tech review, or you reviewing what? I always hate that he speaks in code. Tori, you're crazy. I order for a product review I'm doing for a friend. Oh, but you don't want to tell us
I
what
used
it
to
is
hold
yet.
one of my
That's
best
what it
friend's
is.
porn too, and I used to tell it wasn't mine, but it was like we all knew the truth.
Oh, Red's a transplant and asshole.
Chelsea and Revere. All right. Hey, actually, he's probably, I don't know how old he is or how long he's been gone, but the movie theaters in Revere, the Showcase Cinemas, is no more. They're gonna turn it into an Amazon place.
Oh, the Amazon bought up the land?
Yeah, they used to have a bunch of carnivals and a big movie theater that's been there for a long time. They sold the land and stuff, and it's getting another Amazon facility and one less movie theater.
See, I don't know if you remember. I mean, you probably don't go to Worcester very often, right? Are you on
It's
the
been a
other
while
side?
since I've been to Western. It's been a while since I've been out there. It's changing, I know that, but it's been a while.
I've seen overview. I remember there used to be. Mind you, I haven't been back there since '96 when I left. I don't know. I don't know what.
It's changed a lot.
Yeah. Well, I remember there used to be a right in the middle of downtown. There used to be this big giant rotary, and there was this. It used to be an old train station. I think it got re-put into it, but it was always boarded up and stuff like that. And there was always like these stories when we were kids of it being haunted and all this other stuff, and nobody ever wanted to go in there. And then I found out years later they redid the whole damn thing, and now it's a transportation hub again. I'm like, oh, that's just. I still think of it as that boarded up building that nobody wanted to touch for years.
I was gonna say Worcester just got the Paw Sox. That facility is opening up soon. I think next year. I think it is. Yeah, like the Paw Sox from Providence. They moved Worcester.
Really?
They moved from Pawtucket to Worcester.
Wow.
I think this upcoming season is
that's actually huge for them.
Yeah, they're the Worcester Wosox or something.
That's just like I remember when I was a kid, Worcester got in their first minor league hockey team, and it was called the Ice Cats originally. And then, of course, I guess later after I moved, they called them the Sharks because I got, they were the farm team for the Sharks afterwards. But I remember that especially if we're talking about Providence, when I remember going down to watch the Paw Sox and Providence play. But I don't know if you remember this. I don't know. Maybe I'm just getting too old or I'm aging myself. Do you remember going down to Rhode Island when they had Rocky Point down there?
Yeah.
Or am I aging myself? You remember that one? Yeah. That was like one of the best amusement parks back then. But we started going up to New Hampshire, like Canopy Lake and stuff like that.
Yeah, Canopy Lake is only 20 minutes for me, if that. But we used to go to I'm not sure if you might remember this because I was going there when I was a kid. Riverside amusement parks.
Yep.
Have you ever heard of that?
Yeah.
Like they're now like a Six Flags.
Oh, are they?
Yeah. Six Flags bought them out and turned it into Six Flags. But that's where we used to go every year with the family. We used to drive down the Riverside, and that was our little thing. And every now and then we used to go further down to Busch Gardens. You know what I'm saying? But Riverside was where we always went. And then one time it's Six Flags, so it changed.
Yeah. Crazy.
Yep.
What is he going on? He said, but on that bridge leading to Eastie. Straight through that bridge. What? Which bridge is he talking about? I don't think I've been. Again, it's been years since I've been back. It's been over 20 years, so I'm out of the loop on that one.
Talking about the Tobin Bridge going from Chelsea to Charlestown, basically.
So you're up in Charlestown, right?
I grew up there. Yeah, I'm a townie.
Okay. Yeah, right. But I mean, hell, I remember my first hockey game I ever saw was in the Garden. against the. This is how old it was too, against the Quebec Nordiques. That was my first. That was my first ever Bruins game.
Yeah, long time ago.
A long time ago. Anyone remembers about the Quebec Nordiques? Those ugly baby blue and red jerseys. Those are classic, actually. And that's what he was talking about.
The what?
Was that bridge?
Oh, the Toba. Okay, yeah. They've been actually doing work on that bridge for like I think 10 years. They've been redoing the whole thing, and because it's they have to redo all these bridges every now and then, But that one's been getting worked on for a long time now.
Well, they replacing every bolt on the damn thing.
Well, most bridges, I saw a study, like I forget how long ago, but most bridges in the United States are past their scheduled maintenance, well, like they're supposed to like redo completely. But this one is just like it's been up there for a while, and it's kind of hard to close down a bridge that goes basically from the highway goes from New Hampshire, even further all the way down, and then at that bridge you're on that bridge. You used to have to pay like the toll. Now it's the it's the fast passes, so there's no tolls anymore. So basically, you got to pay that toll to drive into Charlestown, and then you can go downtown Boston, Charlestown going north. But me, I used to live in Charlestown. I never wanted to pay that toll. I used to get off in Chelsea on the last exit before the toll and take the back straight to my house instead of paying $3 for like the toll, $4, like whatever it was.
Oh, that makes sense.
Just to go home. Fuck that, Massachusetts.
So what do you got? I mean, you're still doing like the Funko Pop hauls and everything like that. I mean, have you seen me? I know me and Wayne were talking about it earlier. Have you seen some of these new items they got? They're already showing off for next year and stuff like that. That's coming out. It's not a lot of them ain't coming out till next year. So,
I've seen like the pops. Are you referring to like the Jankies and Tiny Ghosts and all the
just straight Funko? Pops? Like they've got all the. I mean, and we were talking about. I think next year is gonna be that big. I think they're gonna be doing a lot of sodas next year. Stuff like that.
They just dropped like 3 or 4 waves of sodas within the past.
But that,
2 weeks, they just dropped one yesterday or today, right?
But a lot of them aren't releasing until next January, February. They announced them.
Well, yeah, but that's how they do it, though. As soon as like that a wave gets announced and it's available for pre-orders, it's usually a 3-month, 2 to 3 month, 4 month, span. Like it just seems like they're dropping sodas constantly now. You know what I'm saying? It's actually, I mean, I don't mind it. I don't have any yet, but I have some on the way. So
yeah. Actually, not to change subjects by any means, but I'm going to change subjects real quick. I wanted your opinion on something. Now, I've been watching a big thing. Of course, you're a big Marvel guy, right? You do you do the comic books too, right? Yeah, there you go. Oh yeah. Oh, which issue is that?
1983, 284.
Oh, nice.
I don't know. I started at like the store, and I picked up. They had a bunch, and I picked up some new ones and stuff too.
I always go to the boxes. Ooh, that's a zombie.
Yeah, zombie Captain America.
Nice.
Want one?
I don't even go to the new aisles a lot of times. I always go to the stacks whenever I go.
Well, I was looking. I went in there for like the first time because I had to get a couple of things for my collectible swap box that I just did. So I wanted to get a couple comics to put in there, and I'm looking around, and I got some comics for my my channel that I had to do, and I started looking around, and I'm like, let me see if they have a couple ones that I've been wanting to get another one of, and I'm looking, I'm like, oh, zombie. I'm like, is that Captain? I've seen that. That one. And I've been trying to find another one of this one.
Ooh, that's a nice one.
And they had one.
That's a newer one.
Yeah, Batman Pops has sent me this. I opened this up, I think, on my 200. It was in the box that he sent me, I think.
That's a
But
newer
yeah,
issue.
this was a couple months. 21.
Yeah.
I'm trying to, but yeah, there's no. It's just, yeah, that's it though. But it's recent though.
Yeah, I recognize the cover. I think that's a newer issue. But anyways, being that you're a Marvel fan, you know, I've been trying to follow this, and I know I have a feeling Disney's going to change their mind on this. Am I the only one that's been extremely waiting for Black Widow movie? I think.
Well, all right. Here's my stance on the movies that we should have already seen.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I wanted to watch Wonder Woman the week before my birthday. Okay, I wanted to go to the theaters, watch Wonder Woman, Gal Gadot on this massive screen, and just drool for an hour and 45 minutes. Black Widow, I want to see that on a big screen. I don't want to really watch that on my TV on my couch. I will obviously, but there are some movies, me personally, for the first time I see it, I want to experience it on the big screen.
And I don't disagree with that. I absolutely don't. But I think for me, I want it brought to the TV because, especially with having young kids, I don't get a chance to go to the movie theaters very often. So if I can have that brought to me, I think there's a lot of people that sit in my same shoes that benefit a lot from that. Yeah. But I agree with you. And would Endgame have been any as good as it was if it wasn't on that giant screen?
Okay, no. You know what? That is a perfect thing because that movie, watching it on home, you know, like at home, which I have, and in like the theaters, it's two different experiences. When I was at that theaters, I experienced that movie for the first time with a full theater. There are tears being, you know.
Dude, I still tear up to Tony Kane.
That's what I'm saying. People are crying. People are cheering, clapping that entire movie up and down. We all experienced that movie. Me, I'm sitting at home watching it, you know, by myself. You know, I know what happens, and I can still enjoy it, but it's a different atmosphere. So if I have to, I know Wonder Woman is getting released on Christmas Day, which is
on HBO Max, which I may actually.
Yeah. So I need to look at it and see if I have it.
I may be getting an HBO Max subscription just so I can watch it.
What's the thing? Like, I have HBO, but I don't have HBO Max, and I don't know if I have to pay extra for that.
That's a whole different conversation to be had because HBO makes no sense whatsoever. Because I don't know what the difference between HBO, HBO Go, HBO Max. I don't know what the hell the difference is. But if they're just going to say that it's going to be played on HBO Max, then I got to find out what the price of that is. But I know that they had originally had pushed back Black Widow again till May, but now because
they pushed it back further because I thought last time I heard it, I thought it was January.
No, they got it right now. It's got a release date of May, but now that you know, Disney's getting pressured a lot by a lot of their investors, stuff like that. Because I mean, investors got a lot of money into this movie, and it's not coming out.
But not just that, though. Black Widow affects the next 3 movies that are already trying, and then the TV shows. So that plays into everything else.
But they are saying that originally it was Black Widow was supposed to come out, and there was supposed to be something in there that was supposed to answer this. But then they started saying, well, what's in WandaVision isn't going to affect. That's why Falcon Winter Soldier got pushed back because Falcon Winter Soldier was supposed to come out
now. It's supposed to come out now, if I'm not mistaken.
So they pushed that back because there's things tied into that moves into there. I mean, to me, I think it's also a great. I want to say it because it bridges a gap. Because it bridges that gap of what happened after Civil War.
Between Civil War, into Infinity War,
Because you know Tony's showing up at some point in that movie, and you know how that plays into it, I don't know. But you know, I think, and just like Bearded Barbarian said here, is that I've been waiting and looking forward to it, and maybe because I'm having Marvel withdrawals. This may be exactly the reason. That's why I'm so excited for WandaVision to finally get a release date of the 20th. Although, did you realize that they're releasing WandaVision the week after Mandalorian finishes.
Well, I mean, you can't have the son outshine the sister. You know, they can't have two kids competing against each other. That's not what they do.
No, I know.
You know, they're not going to do that.
I just thought it was funny. Don't get me wrong. I love the Mandalorian. I'm a huge Star Wars fan, but I like the Mandalorian. I like it a lot. I think it's fantastic.
I can say I have not watched any episodes yet in the season.
I've watched it only because I do that panel with Wayne on Saturday afternoons, and JKL and JB just completely school us anyways. So I mean, the knowledge that JKL has is freaking ridiculous as far as this. But like I said, it's a great movie, or a great show. Although I hate how they end every episode because I want more.
Well, see, that's why I haven't watched it, because when the first season came out, I watched one, and then I'm into it, and then all of a sudden, stay tuned until next Friday, or next week, to come back, and then I'm like, I just watched a 40-minute thing, and I'm like, I want more. So then after that, I put 2 episodes together, and I watched 2 episodes together, and then I watched the last 3 all at one time. With this one, I'm like, you know what? If I can avoid the spoilers, which I have, I know some things happen. I've seen some pictures and stuff, but I'm like, I know some things happen, but I'm not I'm okay with because I want to at least watch half and then watch the rest. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I like to watch. I'm not the person who wants to watch one episode. Like my DVR, I don't watch it unless it's 2 episodes deep, and so I can watch 2 and then get it off. You know, I don't like to just watch one episode and then move on to the next show that I have saved. I want to just watch 2, 3, 4 hours worth, and then I can move on to something else until it gets back up. So I'll watch The Mandalorian before the final episode gets dropped. You know,
before WandaVision starts. You got to finish Mandalorian before WandaVision starts.
You don't have to pay if you have HBO.
I was just gonna say, and apparently, Bearded says HBO Go is gone. Okay, so now you just have HBO and HBO Max. I don't know. HBO is so confusing with all their stuff. So if you have cable HBO, then you get HBO Max.
I'll have to check.
Yeah, and I agree with you, Tori. I think what the nail on that coffin is not only is Disney getting pressure from the investors, but the fact that now Wonder Woman 1984 had struck the deal with HBO Max. I think that was a nail in the coffin to where they're going to have to release Black Widow on Disney Plus, and I will happily pay the $30 to watch Black Widow.
But hold on. That $30, you're talking about what they had people pay to watch Mulan early, or you could wait until December to watch it late, right? Because I have Disney Plus. I wasn't paying $30 to watch that Mulan movie.
But not from I wasn't going to do it for Mulan. But if they drop Black Widow on that premiere, I'll do it all day.
Yeah, I don't think they should do that. If you are already paying for the service, that movie should just be included anyways. But if you're a new member signing up,
look at the overall price of Disney Plus. It's less than everybody else, and they're releasing a theatrical trailer. Now, if anything, you do what Universal does, and Universal works with Apple, and they release their stuff early access, pay $20. I mean, we did that with my kids when Trolls World Tour came out, and I thought that was great because I was able to rent it, and you get a 3-day rental on that. So my kids were able to watch it for all 3 days. They watched it multiple times, and then it was gone. So I was happy to pay the $20 because if I would have taken them to the movies, I would have paid way more than that in the first place.
See, I don't like renting or buying it like that because I can spend the $19.99 when it comes out on Blu-ray and buy it then versus renting it from the cable box for however long you get it for, or the service, and it's gone.
No, but that's 2 different things. I won't do the rentals when they say, after it goes out for sale, and then it goes out for rent. I won't do that. But if it's an early access movie, like it would be in the theaters, but it's video on demand, oh yeah, I'll do that all day. But if it's rental afterwards, I feel there's no point. I'll just go buy the thing on iTunes, and that way it's up in the cloud. It's always there for me to download.
Yeah, because there are movies like that I want to see, but I don't go see in theaters. I'd wait to watch them at home. So I'll rather just go spend the $20 and buy the movie versus spending for the ticket and the snacks or the drinks or whatever, because I can just watch it anytime I want to, you know?
But and again, to reiterate, OT2G, Disney has to charge something extra. It's a brand new movie. You know, you got to think when they bring out a brand new movie and you go to the theaters to watch it, they're of course they're not expecting you to pay the extra $20 or $30 you're going to pay at the concession stand, but you know you get that's why I always thought the $20 was fair, because if I go to take me and my wife to go to the movies, I'm going to pay $20. They still got to account for that, and yes, they are paying you are paying for the service, but to me, Disney Plus is one of the
you're paying more than that. Just the tickets alone, because tickets nowadays are $14, $15 a seat.
Yeah. So
so you're
the thing about that is that $30 is basically to come up with the difference that they would normally charge for you to watch in the theaters. That's really the difference.
But Chris,
they still got to make up their money.
Think that you should, like, if you already have Disney Plus, though, don't you think that it should be $15 or $20 for you if you already have an account?
I think there should be a discount if you have an account.
Someone, like, you know, saying that you don't have it, but you want to watch Black Widow, so you sign up for Disney Plus, you get an initial $30 charge that first month, and then it drops down to the like that basic. We should be able just to pay a couple dollars more that month that it drops, and be able to watch it versus paying. I'm already giving you $13 for Disney Plus, but now you want an extra $30 just so I can watch this one movie.
Well, remember though, you're paying $13 for Disney Plus. If you're doing the $13 one, you're paying $13 for Disney Plus, ESPN, and Hulu. But if you're just doing Disney Plus alone, that's $7. I'm not
sure, because Verizon Wireless is still paying for my Disney Plus, because I got a year free. So they're still paying for my Disney Plus.
But even that, the standard Disney Plus is only $7 a month. I mean, you can't. There's nobody. It's cheap. So I get it, and I agree with you on that same spot. Why charge $30? Why not just charge $20?
Yeah,
charge $20 to watch it. I think that makes more sense. Like I said, I think when their first initial try of this was with Mulan, although before I guess whatever controversy they had with Mulan, they did see good success with people doing it.
Well, because a lot of people were pissed that you can watch it now for $30, or you can wait until January and then anyone can watch it. You know, that's where I think they screwed up, where you didn't have to tell them that, you know, you could pay now or you can just wait to get it. You know, just say, if you guys want to watch it, like, it's $30. Don't tell me that it's going to come out for free in 2 months, because then you might not have that same success. If people knowing, well, I can just wait 2 months. I don't need to see the movie now, you know?
Exactly. And I didn't know this story. AT&T owns HBO and Warner Brothers. So they're creating a whole new streaming service for Warner Brothers. They turned so that's what it is. Okay. So basically it's just AT&T's streaming service is HBO.
Okay.
But it's not, yeah. Well, that's it. Now that it's that I feel that it's going to HBO, that makes more sense on why it's going to HBO. Because if Warner Brothers and HBO are the same company, then okay, that makes. I never knew that connection.
Yeah, no, I didn't know that either.
I get them charging something extra, but $10, $20 I get. You pay movie theater prices because it's movie theater, big screen, huge sound. Yeah. Yes, I do agree. Yeah, you are paying for that extra experience. You know, but I also do agree that, you know, being it's a big movie, and we all know the movie, you know, the bigger the movie we want, the more it costs. So
I'm paying for that sticky floor feeling on my sneakers when I walk up and down the
aisle. Exactly. But I do agree. I think $30 is pretty steep. If they release Black Widow for $30 tomorrow, would I pay that? Yes. Only because, again, I think I'm like with Bearded Barbarian. I'm going through Marvel withdrawals right now. But Yeah, like I said, I think $30 is a little high. But then again, I mean, look at Disney movies overall compared to any other movie theater branch out there. I mean, if you go to any Apple or whatever other Amazon, any other places you buy movies at, streaming online or whatever, or even if you go and buy a Disney movie on Blu-ray, they're always expensive.
Yeah.
Disney movies are always the most expensive items out there. You just kind of got to accept that to a certain point, and either wait for it to either come out in theater and go watch it in the theater, or wait till it comes down cheaper where you can buy it. But the most you're ever going to get, the least you're ever going to
really
get.
True, Chris, man, that is really true with their older Disney movies. Because when you get them on Blu-ray or Ultraviolet, like whatever it is, they're like $35 because it's out of the vault collection.
Mm-hmm.
So it's because they do that. Like if you want to watch 101 Dalmatians, to get that newer version that's Blu-ray or whatnot, you have to get the whole set. So that right there is $30 to get the new ones that come out. It's just the prices is just ridiculous sometimes for what they charge.
Oh, I agree.
It
is Disney. We've all just learned to accept it when it comes to Disney. We know that they value their things up way high. And the thing is, are they still going to get it? Yes.
Yeah, because they're Disney.
Because they're Disney, and people still cherish Disney movies, and they want those Disney movies, or they're like me, and they got freaking kids, and we got to pay the stupid amount of money for all the Frozen shit that they keep coming out with.
You want Frozen shit? I'll send you some in a couple of weeks.
Good. No, trust me, we have enough Frozen stuff in the house.
Well, I meant I'll send you some snow in a bag. It'll be water by the time it gets here.
It'll be water by the time it gets here. Says plus we'll be popping and just sitting at home butt naked and watching movies, and nobody will care except for his family.
Wait a second. Hold on. Red, did you auto voice this into your text?
Yeah, I was gonna say, because that did. It took me a minute to realize he was saying "Will be popping."
I just read that again. I'm like, wait a second. Did he just voice me? He just voiced me, and then it kind of sounds like Will be popping. But no, it's
you. You're gonna be sitting at home butt naked watching movies.
I don't know, man. I got leather couch and a chair. I ain't sitting butt naked on that thing. It's gonna hurt.
HBO Max has a DC Universe stuff. Well, that just means they got the shitty superhero stuff, which means I'm gonna just make my little point that I make in every so far Mr. Techbot or Techbot After Dark video, that they're gonna get the shitty Batman Robert Pattinson movie. Okay, that's enough. I've bashed him enough. They need Doom Patrol.
Movie's gonna suck, guys.
Huh?
It's gonna suck. So the movie's gonna suck, guys.
With Batman?
Yeah.
Here's the thing, though. Here's the thing.
That vampire can't be Batman.
I truly agree. I believe it's gonna be. I think it's gonna suck, and I think it's gonna be bad. And that's only because I personally think Robert Pattinson is a horrible actor. That's my own personal perspective. But will I still go and watch it? Yes. And only reason I would go and pay and watch it is for two things. To one, either prove my point, or two, if I'm wrong, I will admit I'm wrong. But I'm pretty sure I'm going to go to prove my point.
I'm not gonna waste my money. I'd rather wipe my ass with a $20 bill and stick it on the window. I'm not paying to see that movie. I will see that movie. I saw the the Chris Nolan ones and stuff like that in theaters. Amazing. I mean, am I the only one that kind of wishes Ben Affleck still got his solo movie?
I do. I didn't hate the Affleck Batman, to be honest with you.
I didn't either. I mean, because he was playing an older Batman. He was Batman for a long time, so they did that for a reason.
I put out of all the Batmans, again, not paying attention to Robert Pattinson, I put Affleck right in the middle because there's been 5 Batmans. I put him right in the middle.
Adam West.
Oh, okay. Not counting Adam West. Adam West.
Okay.
Adam West is in a completely different league of his own.
Well,
But
all right. Let me say, is for these movies nowadays, is Michael Keaton your number one? I would imagine.
Michael Keaton's my absolute number one.
Okay. Now, my number two on that list, is honestly Christian Bale.
Yes, I would agree. Christian Bale is my number two. I think Christian Bale did fantastic with the Batman, and then I would put Affleck in there.
I see. Right after that, it gets me to an Affleck Kilmer. Like, hold on. It's like Affleck because I'm biased a little bit. In Kilmer's movies, it wasn't terrible, but it wasn't great. But I would put Affleck, above Kilmer, and then Kilmer, then George Clooney.
I would agree.
Because I could be biased because, like I said, Affleck is from here, and I thought he did a good job in Justice League. And Batman vs Superman. Like I said, I still wish he got his own solo.
I do too.
But we'll never get that. So I think he never had the chance to. But
I do want to see the Snyder Cut.
Shouldn't have been his first movie. He should have got his own one, and then that second one should have been Batman vs Superman to bring both of them back, and then we should have already had a sequel to Superman.
Oh yeah. Although I will say I do want to see the Snyder Cut.
Yes.
The Snyder Cut looks freaking awesome.
Now, were you a fan of the black and white or the colored version better? Because he released two. Did you see both or just the black and white one?
No, well, the Snyder Cut's not released yet.
Well, no. Like that trailer that he released.
Oh,
he released one in black and white, and then he released one that was in color later. I'm curious to see if he's gonna do one in both, one black and white and one in color, possibly.
I don't know why they didn't just let him do it his way in the first fucking place.
But it looks good. It looks dark. It
looks like how it should have looked. The one that came out is just a CG. Now I'm a fan of CG, but when you overly do CG, it just looks bad, and that's what that was. I'm
not going to hate on Justice League because it was, in my opinion, it was a good movie. It wasn't great. It's not one that I would like. Oh, it was. You have to see it, but it was nice that you got all those stars together and for the first time, but they ruined it because of all the bullshit that came around with Snyder and everything else.
The overall plot line was horrible.
Yeah,
or how they played the plot line out was bad. It was just bad. It made no sense.
And you can tell just by watching Snyder's trailer.
Oh yeah,
that he wanted a completely different movie. He wanted a different and everything. So yeah.
I mean, they should just let him put out what he wanted to put out, because then you wouldn't have had a piece of shit that we got. And I do want to go back on a comment that Tori made. You got to remember, though, I agree with you. Back in the day, this was the case that Disney vaults their animated movies, and then they do limited release. That's why people pay premium. However, that whole thought process has changed in the recent 5 years when everything can be bought online, because movies like Little Mermaid, Cinderella, all these movies that would get put in the vault. Now, maybe you can't buy it on Blu-ray, but if you want to go to iTunes, you can buy any Disney movie on Blu-ray, right? I mean, on Apple movies right now. So you can't go out to the vault. Disney just rates their movies very, very, or they know people are going to pay a premium because it's a Disney movie.
That's why they released it on on VHS first, then it went to DVD, then it's Blu-ray, then it's Ultraviolet. They have it on the big disc. They have so many different versions. Next year they'll be doing something that has better picture quality and better sound. So come buy the movie all over again, even though you have it already.
But the thing is, they still promote it. But again, before, when they would put it in the vault, you couldn't find it anywhere. But now that you got things like Apple movies and stuff like that, and Amazon movies, you can buy any Disney movie anytime now. There's really no. The vault is kind of, to be honest with you, I think the vault's kind of dead because it's not you're waiting another 10 years for the movie to be released. You can go and buy any Disney movie right now if you wanted to. But like I said, Disney just keeps their stuff up really high, and people pay it. People continue to pay it. What is Justice League going on? Doom Patrol, Teen Titans, Swamp Thing. Swamp Thing I think would be good. I haven't really seen the other ones. Again, I'm not a huge DC fan. I just don't get into it. Make a snowball and drop a liquid nitrogen. That could be interesting.
That's gonna be a brick to ship then.
They should have George Clooney come back and play Old Man Batman for No.
Oh, Michael Keaton's coming back.
Michael Keaton's coming back as Old Man Batman for.
And Ben Affleck is reprising his role.
Yeah, they're trying to do like a multiverse thing, but it's more. I think it's a Flashpoint instance. Oh yeah, there you go. Keaton's coming back as Old Man Batman at Flashpoint. It's funny is both companies are doing the same idea at the same time. You know, one's Flashpoint, one's multiverse. It's pretty much the same exact thing. People still like to collect DVDs. I get it. I agree with you, but there's a lot of people that don't. I used to be a huge DVD collector. I had, thousands. I had about 1,000 DVDs. And then when I realized, I started ripping a lot of them to my hard drive. And then when I started realizing, screw it, I'll just pay for it on Apple Music. I don't have to fill up my hard drive, and I can download that anywhere I want. Why do I want it? Why do I need the DVD?
See, I'm old school because I have so many DVDs in boxes and on the the shelf that I haven't even watched in years. I have a whole thing of Blu-rays and other things. So I still like to go out and buy the movies and I like to have the physical copy because I'm that same way when it comes to music. When there's a new CD that comes out, I'll put it on my phone and on the computer, but I like having the CD. So I'll go get the CD and copy it to I don't know if it's the old school or the collector in me, but I've always been that I want to hold it here,
Even before streaming came out, dude, I was all about once I realized how much music you could put and then that was in the world of iPods coming out and stuff like that. Once I realized how much you could put on hard drives, dude, I remember when long time ago, maybe 10 years ago, I was going to the library because the library would have a crap load of music CDs you could borrow. Yeah. I would rip every single one of those to my hard drive. I would just start ripping everything in my hard drive. And then, once the whole streaming services came out, Pandora, Apple Music, Amazon Music, that was done for me. I'll pay that all day long. And that way, if any new music comes out, I get the new music. Just less clutter. To me, less clutter. And it just between DVDs and CDs, it just became too much.
But the other thing that I will touch on that is that I definitely abused the hell out of Napster and LimeWire when those were around.
I was a Napster person.
Thousands upon thousands of movies, music, everything from those things. I don't know, we had a good when we were younger because it was just coming up, all this new technology, and we were reaping nowadays it's just too much. It's all technology now versus I still remember sitting in my hallway at the computer waiting for my AOL to load up, and you had to listen to the dial tone, and I was sitting on that same computer playing Oregon Trail with my mouse and the keyboard. All right, so so everyone's got the handheld things now. I know I played Oregon Trail and listened to dial tone on the computer. So yeah, so you guys got a lot easier, than we did.
Oh yeah. Well, like I said, to me, just technology. I was always a big tech person, so I was always about stepping up the new technology and stuff like that. I mean, that's just I don't know why people. To me, I still don't understand why people have home phone lines. To me, old school phone lines are a thing of the past. That stuff's in 5 years. That stuff's not gonna exist anymore.
I got rid of mine a long time ago when
I did too.
it never rang because I have a cell phone. So I'm like, I'm not paying for this anymore. So makes no sense.
What did Red say? Does anyone else agree with me that William Dafoe should have played the Joker? No.
And what movie?
I don't think. I think William Dafoe is a great actor. I do like William Dafoe a lot, especially to me, I think one of his greatest roles. And a lot of people may think I'm crazy on this, but Boondock Saints. I absolutely love William Dafoe in Boondock Saints. He was fucking badass in that movie.
One of my favorite movies.
Oh, I love the second one was horrible, but the original Boondock Saints, classic.
Yeah.
And
I think they waited too long in between the movies to make a
sequel.
But
I think William. I don't think he would have played a good, because you got to think he already played a villain. He played the Green Goblin. Now I think he played Green Goblin pretty well. But I also don't like how they represented the look of the Green Goblin in his movie.
Green Goblin looked like he showed up at a kid's birthday party as the Green Goblin.
Yeah. I didn't really care for it that much, but I think William Dafoe is a great actor. But I don't think, to be honest with you, I don't see William Dafoe playing a Joker. I don't see it in there.
This is what I brought up on your first show about the 3 different eras when it came to Spider-Man. For those times, so when Tobey Maguire, and then you had William Dafoe, those guys fit perfectly.
I agree.
Andrew Garfield and those guys fit perfectly for the times. Tom Holland and what they're doing now fits perfectly with the time. William Dafoe was perfect for the Green Goblin, even though the costume was not real looking to me, But could you picture someone else playing that role, having that back and forth with himself? He's perfect for that kind of role.
Yeah.
So I mean, you put him today. I think he's too old to play Joker today. If that's what Red's.
Yeah. Well, I think he's too old to play Joker today. And I can't remember that girl's name, but I know who you're talking about, the one from The Craft and The Water Boy. I actually think that, to be honest with you, again, I'm not a huge DC fan, but I think Margot Robbie playing Harley Quinn, it was spot on. I think that was one of the best casting roles they've ever done, because I think Margot Robbie has done fantastic with that role.
Okay. Now, since you brought her up, Suicide Squad or the Harley Quinn movie? Which one do you think she was in? Suicide Squad?
Harley Quinn movie was... Here's the thing with the Harley Quinn movie. I don't think she played it badly. I don't think she played the role badly. But I think they could have done, and I don't even think the movie was horrible, but I think there was so much more they could have done with that movie that they didn't.
And I know that they wanted to introduce the other women, the other characters too, so that's why they brought in some of them to open that little franchise up more. But I just think the writing of that movie wasn't that great.
Yeah, exactly.
It was rushed, and then they reshot and all this type of stuff, and I thought it was going to be better than it was, personally. I mean, I didn't see it in theaters. I saw it on HBO or Stars, whatever it was, when it came out and stuff. But when I watched it, I'm like, okay.
It's like I said, I don't think Margot Robbie portrayed Harley Quinn wrong. I think she did fantastic. But I think that it was down to the writing. I think they could have done so much more with that movie than they did.
Yeah.
I was hoping for more for that movie. I think Suicide Squad 2 is going to be freaking badass, and that's because
that's going to be a lot different than the first one.
Because James Gunn did it, dude.
Yeah. You're going to get that Guardians type of vibe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love James Gunn movies. He's a fantastic director. He sees things in a much different way than a lot of people. He sees not as dark as a who am I thinking? The guy that Johnny Depp always does movies with. Tim Burton. He's not as dark as Tim Burton is, but he sees that dark and action at the same time. You know who I would really like to see James Gunn do a movie for, because I think he would be perfect, is Daredevil. Because Daredevil,
with the way that he is, yeah, that would be.
Because Daredevil was a dark comic. Daredevil needs to be portrayed as a dark person. That's just like, I know they're going back and forth right now with, of course, I think the guy who played the Punisher, Bethel, that played the Punisher in the Netflix series, was fantastic. I'm in the middle of watching that right now. Out of all three Punishers, out of all three Punishers, he has portrayed Frank Castle absolutely the best out of anybody.
He just said that he's done, right? He wants to.
No, he's already come back and said he'd be. Marvel's actually started to approach him, and he said, "If
I thought I heard something saying that he was done with that role, or he wanted out of it, or something."
He said he's looking at as a character. He put a lot into that character. He says if it is done right, he'd be willing to bring the role back.
Okay,
but it's got to be done right. And then that's the thing is I think Marvel MCU needs to express that ability to go to a rated R, because now they want to start. I mean, they need to start introducing those characters that, I'm sorry, by comic book standards, they were not family friendly. Punisher was not a family friendly person. Daredevil was a very dark comic. So they need that R rating, because you need to be able to give them that point. That's why Daredevil. That's why Affleck never portrayed, Murdoch correctly, and even the director never portrayed Murdoch correctly, because that was supposed to be a dark movie. It's just how Murdoch was. But I think he was played extremely well in the TV series, and they're actually going to that guy too to possibly bring Murdoch back. So, and those are the only two.
Do you think Disney will ever go down that road, though?
Yeah, with those two characters, because Punisher and Daredevil have a huge following. Now, bringing back Iron Fist, nah, probably not. Luke Cage, nah, probably not. Jessica Jones, nah, probably not. But the only time you could bring Jessica Jones back is if they really want to pursue this Young Avengers, because Jessica Jones was a key person within the Young Avengers of trying to guide them.
So she could come back down the road, because there is a new Avengers coming eventually down the road.
And Jessica Jones was the one that kind of guided them to, think correctly and stuff like that. So they could bring her back. She is like a guidance type of person, but I don't know if they will. But I would like to see them. I think everybody wants to see just like everybody wants to see a good Fantastic Four movie. Finally, I think everyone wants to see a really good.
This one with John Krasinski and Emily Blunt and this cast
they already said that Fantastic Four is going to be a little bit further in series in phase 5. I think they're coming in phase 5. But
I didn't mind the first two with Jessica Alba. Like, those were, like I said, those older movies fit that time and genre of movies. That movie today, if that was made today with the Flash and all that type of stuff, that's not a movie that it would have been so much better made today versus that. Like, there's a lot of movies where, like, I wish that they were made 15, 20 years later, because just the amount of CGI and the picture quality, just everything that they could have done with it could have been so much better,
I'll answer who I think could actually play him very, very well, because he's played some real, two-sided type of characters, and that's Evan Peters. Guy has done a lot of the American Horror Stories. He played Quicksilver, and although he can't reprise, he's talked about wanting to do Quicksilver, but he can't reprise that role as Quicksilver now that Disney owns it, because Disney already killed Quicksilver, and it was played by somebody else, so he can't reprise that role. But I think Evan Peters could play Hobgoblin very, very well, whereas he's a guy that can flip that switch.
There's probably a lot of guys you could get to play that. I mean, what's the name? The Skarsgård, the dude who played Pennywise.
Oh yeah, but I think that guy's gonna get pigeonholed, just like Eric. The guy who played Freddy Krueger. He's going to get pigeonholed as that character, to be honest with you. He's never going to get himself out of that character. John Bernthal. That's the guy who played the Punisher. Fucking fantastic actor. I love. I think I've got like 6 episodes left to watch on the second season, and I think he's absolutely fantastic to play for it. Sorry, guys. So I mean, when Will and I start getting into comics, man, we start just getting in our own world. But yeah, sorry, I was getting to your question kind of late, Red. I think it was Red that asked that one. Yes. So the question, in your opinion, would be the best portrayal of Kingpin.
Michael Duncan Clark.
Well, he was the best portrayal. I agree, but of course, you can't bring him back from the dead now. You need somebody. Well, you need somebody big.
You need a big guy with loud, like he takes up.
I don't know. That one I don't know. That's a damn good question for that one. I didn't like the guy who played Kingpin in the Daredevil series. He was okay. He was the same guy that played Gomer Pyle in Full Metal Jacket. Yeah. He was okay. I think they could have done more with that. The leader of the new Avengers team is already in the universe or will be there. That's again, it depends on how they play that. Falcons, you're going to see when Falcon Winter Soldier comes around, he's not going to take the shield right away. They're going to replace Captain America with another guy. And Sam's a soldier. He's not going to take that shield right away. He's going to know he has to earn that shield. And I think that whole first season of Falcon Winter Soldier is about him earning that shield, and I don't think
he's not even in Captain's colors, or he has the shield.
He won't be probably, I think, until the season finale of that first season. But I think that's the big thing. Is I mean, we all know Falcon eventually from the comics takes over Captain's spot. But there's also.
But I thought Bucky was first. I thought Bucky went first, and then Falcon.
Not very long, though. I don't think Bucky took the shield very long.
Okay. Because I know Bucky had like the shield too.
He could reprise Quicksilver once. I agree with you. They could.
But it would have to be at a certain time in the movie, because you can't have him in a certain point in the storyline coming from another universe, can you?
But you also got to look at the Quicksilvers. Let's just look at that. The 2 Quicksilvers we had, the Evan Peters version of Quicksilver and the Quicksilver we had in Age of Ultron, were 2 completely different types of Quicksilvers. Yeah, they were fast, but they were portrayed completely differently. I like them both. I actually like the guy who played the Quicksilver in Age of Ultron. I think he did fairly well. It just sucked that they killed him off that quick. But now we're talking about multiverse. Now anything's possible. Tony can come back. Cap can reprise his role. We can go back in time and stop Cap from, giving up the shield and becoming. There's a whole world of possibilities here. And how Chris Evans has always said that if the position was right, he would be willing to bring Cap back.
He would come back if it was the right story, right everything, and all that stuff like that.
He put a lot of time into that character, so of course, he's gonna go, want to be cautious of it. I think Vincent, you might have something there. But like I said, I think he was okay. I think because that's what we've seen him play. That's the same guy who did Gomer Pyle. I think he did okay, but I don't know. I think there could have been more. I think he could have done more for that role. Kingpin was like a larger than life type character. I mean, you didn't cross Kingpin, and stuff like that. So I just didn't feel like he had that stature that Kingpin was meant to have. But I don't get, if they brought him back, I wouldn't be upset by it. Who is a better War Machine? Oh, that's a tough one because
hold on. Now, are you classifying?
Technically, he never wore. He never
put on War Machine
the armor in the first one. He never wore the armor.
He was never War Machine. Yeah, he was never War Machine.
Yeah, he didn't become. He didn't start wearing the armor until Iron Man 2, when he stole the armor.
Yeah, so what's his name was never. I wouldn't consider him a War Machine because he looked at the outfit and was just like, "Nah, next movie," and then he never came back.
Now, if you want to ask who was a better roadie as a character himself,
that's a valid question. Yeah.
I would say that I can't remember his name, but I would say the one from Iron Man 1. I thought it was a fantastic job. Now, I'm not saying that was it Chizo? I always forget his name too. I'm not saying he did a bad job. Don Cheadle. I'm not saying Don Cheadle did a bad job. I think he did a great job filling in for that role. But that's
I don't know why I'm blanking on the guy's name from Empire.
I remember I think he was great. I think he did good.
I'm blanking on his name right now. I don't know why.
Terrence Howard. There we go.
Thank you. Yes, thank you.
Terrence Howard. I think he was a better roadie. And
I think he did a good job.
Better.
I thought he did a good job as roadie.
But that's just like, I mean, are we gonna, we can sit here and can compare. I mean, who is the better Hulk? You guys forget there was a third Hulk.
I was gonna say I brought up Eric Bana in a chat, and people were like, he was never Hulk, and I'm like, he was Hulk with Jennifer Connelly. Yes, he was. Thank you.
It was one of the worst Hulk movies of all time, but
I haven't even seen that movie, and I don't even know. I think 20 plus years.
It was a horrible movie. I watched it once, and I was like, "What the hell did I watch here?"
Edward Norton wasn't bad. I don't think that one was terrible.
To be honest with you, I mean, Mark Ruffalo built into the role, but being a solo Hulk, I think Edward Norton was fantastic.
I thought he did a good job compared to Banner's movie.
Yeah, I think Edward Norton was fantastic. I think that was a great solo movie. I think they could have done more and given Hulk a second movie, but Edward Norton was just too difficult to work with.
But they've already said that Ruffalo will never get a solo movie as Hulk.
No, to be honest with you,
they've already come out and said Hulk will never get another movie by himself.
To be honest with you, I like Ruffalo, but I don't think he could carry a solo movie.
No,
I don't.
Norton carried that movie, like the way that he became Hulk, carried it through. So like he carried the movie, and if he did a second one, he would have been good in that one too. But with Ruffalo starting off basically, coming in Avengers as Hulk already, it was a little bit easier for him, versus having that spotlight the entire, if Ruffalo had a movie prior, like everyone else did, besides Black Widow and Hawkeye, it might have been a little different,
No, I still can watch the Edward Norton Hulk movie and enjoy it. Like I said, I think he did a fantastic job.
I think it was on TV, one of the movie channels. I watched it. Good one.
Here's another good question. I'm going to hit you with a tough subject. What's your opinion of the Ghost Rider movies? As I own both of them, but that's because Ghost Rider is my favorite anti-hero.
Nicolas Cage's dog.
I'm to be 100% honest with you, I never saw the second one. I only saw the first one. Nicolas Cage playing Johnny Blaze.
Spirit of a Vengeance was the second one, I think. Something like that. I don't know.
I never watched the second one. I have it. I just haven't watched it. But what do I think of Ghost Rider? First one, I give it a solid A. But I can't rank the second one because I never saw it.
Now the second one, if I'm not mistaken, was with
Nick Cage. Still did it. Was still Ghost Rider.
Oh yeah, no, but it had what's his name in it? the black guy from Hobbs and Shaw. Why am I blanking on all these names right now?
Oh, Dwayne Johnson?
No. The villain.
Tyree?
Hmm?
Was it Tyree or?
No, it wasn't. No, it was from Hobbs and Shaw. It was the bad guy.
What the hell is his
Brit,
name? He's a fantastic actor too.
who I thought he was going to be the next James Bond. That he was rumored to be. Why am I blanking on all these names?
Yeah, to be 100% honest with you, I wouldn't hate on that.
No,
I would not hate on that because I think he's
Idris
a fantastic actor. He can play any
Idris
role.
Elba.
Dude. Yes,
Idris Elba. They just said because he was in the second one, if I'm not mistaken, with Nicolas Cage. He wasn't in the whole thing, but he was in that movie too.
Now I'm gonna have to go watch that movie. Now I'm just gonna have to go watch that damn movie.
It wasn't bad, but it was. If that makes sense to you.
Well, I think if I think for the first one, this is probably true. I don't know about the second one, but I agree with OTT. Solid effort. But if it had an R rating, I think it would have been better. Again, we're talking about anti-heroes. Anti-heroes, to be honest with you, anti-heroes are always dark. And we need to treat them as dark. Punisher.
And this movie wasn't.
Is an anti-hero. I mean, they need to have their justice done for him. And yes.
I mean that second movie, Chris, was, if I'm not mistaken, it was just the devil had a kid and he was coming down to get a new body, and the Ghost Rider was just killing everyone. So the whole story is him trying to go after and find the kid and get his powers back and all that type of stuff like that. So like the storyline was but it wasn't, like I said, that this plays on to, if that movie was made today, it would have bombed. It would have flopped.
Oh yeah.
Just because of how it was. But if that's something, I wouldn't mind them remaking with the technology they have and the darkness. Like if the movie was dark in the comics or whatnot, then you should really base it around that style. Don't make it kid friendly or colorful because you want to get to because that's all they're doing it for, because they want people to watch it. So they have to do the color commentary. They have to do the comedic relief, all that type of stuff. They have to put that in there instead of just giving us a real storyline with the movie. That movie remade today would probably do really well if they had a great Ghost Rider. Imagine Tom Hardy as Ghost Rider, the way he did Venom. Like if you can find an actor like that who can just play the role like he did Venom, because honestly, I think Venom was a fantastic movie.
You know who would be an interesting Johnny Blaze? And I may get scrutinized for this, only because I've always loved him as an actor, even though he went friggin' screwball for a while. Shia LaBeouf. He can portray that badass, cold, feel to him, stuff like that. I just throwing that out there, but I think he could play that role.
He probably could. I mean, he's not a bad actor. He is a good actor.
Like I said, I've loved it. I've enjoyed everything Shia LaBeouf has ever put out for a long time. Now, yes, he went and did his whole crazy, dealing with problems of his father and shit like that.
Yeah.
Dude, did you guys watch Peanut Butter Falcon? Did you watch Honey Boy? Fucking fantastic. I mean, when I saw Honey Boy, I'm like, Shila's back.
When I saw Peanut Butter Falcon, I saw that too, and I'm like, all right, this is good. And then the other one that he did based on, when he played his father in the movie, you gotta understand, he's a child. A lot of the child actors and actresses
screwed in the head.
Get screwed in the head because they're such a young age doing this stuff. And he's not the only one that has had parents intervene and all this type of stuff and take control or just be bad. And so he was dealing through all that growing up in the spotlight, and then it just got to a head, and everything just fell apart for him. So then he had to deal with it, and he couldn't, then he was spiraling. some people just, I mean, I definitely wouldn't want my life in the spotlight for 15 years because I would have spiraled eventually too. I wouldn't want all that stuff out there. So, I mean, for what he's been through, he's done good.
Well, especially since Honey Boy was a portrayal of his childhood.
Yeah.
And you look at that and go, damn. I mean, you can sit look at that. You know, I mean, of course, maybe some of it was exaggerated a tiny bit, but most of it, that was how he got through writing.
It was
that
a coping.
script.
Yeah, it was a coping thing for what he had to deal with, everything he went through with his father, and see things through his father's eyes, and that was like therapy for him. He said, "I needed to play that role to understand, like the life he had."
You see that most recent movie he did. I mean, this is a guy that jumps straight into every role he ever does, and does it, 100%.
I love him in Transformers.
Oh, he was fantastic in Transformers.
I love him in that.
You know, like I said, I've been a Shia LaBeouf fan for a long time, and when I see that he's got his head on right now and he's doing the right thing, like I said, and I do agree with Red. Shia LaBeouf could make a better Danny Ketch than Johnny Blaze. Still the same, still a Ghost Rider of a point.
Yeah.
But I mean, they're slightly different. But I think either way, I think Shia could play that very well. Now, since
we're talking about Shia, did you see his Just Spicoli?
I don't think I did.
All right. I think like a month or so ago, they did like a Zoom like reenactment or like a Zoom retake of oh my God, Fast Time at Ridgemont High.
Okay.
They got Morgan Freeman to narrate. They got Brad Pitt. Matthew McConaughey to play a role. They had Jeff. They brought in what's his name? Like the real Jeff Spicoli. If you got blanking on his name, like right now, I'm blanking on.
Not bad.
Yeah, thank you. They brought him in to play someone else, and they brought in Shia to play Spicoli. And Shia is in his car reading this. If you just type in Shia and the Ridgemont High, it was like a 40-minute thing. They just did like the best scenes, and they all read their scenes, and it was all just famous people, like big name people. Like Jessica Aniston was one of the parts. Julia Roberts, like they just brought in big name people. Shia played Spicoli, and he's in his car in his garage, smoking a joint the entire time. Looks like he's been out in the sun for 3 days. He looks like he is stoned and having a great time. He played Spicoli, I think, better than Spicoli.
Well, see, and that's the thing with Shia. Shia is like, he was like Heath Ledger was. He's a method actor. You know, he tries to get into the role, whether it be good or bad, as much as possible to really portray it. But like I said, I like how he acts. I like how he portrays things, and I think he's just a fantastic actor. But I would like to see him in MCU. I mean, that's just like I've heard rumors of them trying to find a spot in the MCU for Keanu.
Well, didn't they already find him one? Isn't he supposed to be
a villain or something?
Yeah, there was one guy who kind of has like long black hair, and they thought he was. I know that he's been tied to like this role for a little bit.
But an actor can always reprise a great role. I mean, look at what's his name? The guy from 30 Seconds to Mars. I always forget his name. My wife knows him a lot. He was one of the bad. He's the Joker from Suicide Squad. Really bad Joker.
Oh, that's
Come on, Chad. I know you know who I'm talking about.
Jared Leto.
Jared Leto. There we go. Dude, Morbius? Have you seen the trailer for Morbius?
Yeah.
That shit looks awesome. And I think he's going to play Morbius great. I can't wait to see Morbius.
He wasn't a great Joker, though.
Oh, he's a horrible Joker. Horrible Joker.
I don't even consider him a Joker. I mean, that's probably being mean or sounding mean or not fair, but I don't even put him in like my Joker list.
Oh yeah, but I think he would be but we're probably. I mean, I'm excited not only to see the Morbius origin movie, but can't wait to see Morbius show up in the Spider-Verse somewhere.
Yeah,
I think that's going to be fantastic. And I think he's going to play that role. That he should just forgotten the Joker and just went for Morbius because he looks fantastic in that movie. I can't wait to see Morbius. Period. But I know Carnage is going to be awesome, or the Venom 2. Because I think Woody Harrelson.
Yeah, I mean, I'm dying for Venom 2, and I want to see a Spider-Man Venom with these two characters.
Oh, you will.
But is that going to come in the third Venom and the fourth Spider-Man? If the third Spider-Man is rumored to get Andrew,
they already said that Holland's supposed to make an appearance in Venom 2. If not at the very end, but he's supposed to make an appearance in Venom 2.
Okay, but not like a whole movie where they're
no.
Okay,
this next movie is going to be all about Carnage, and it may be like it may even be an end credits piece, but it's supposed to be an appearance to start to tie it together. Now, I think, to be honest with you, I think Holland, and I mean, I put him up there as the best Spider-Man so far, but I think he is going to be the only one that's going to be really able, and I don't think the MCU is going to let him go as much as they can. And then, of course, we know that Fox or Sony isn't going to let him go either. He's going to be that one character, that only character that's going to be able to bounce between the Spider-Verse and the MCU universe.
Yeah,
fluently.
Because his movies have basically been the first ones, besides Superman and Batman. It's been those three for when it comes to movies for the most part, you know.
Oh yeah,
and because you've had so many Batmans, you've had just in the past 20 years, you've already had 3 different Spider-Mans and 7 Spider-Man movies, 8 if you include Miles Morales, and then the sequel for that, and then you're eventually going to get a live-action Miles Morales, because that's coming too eventually. So wouldn't you want? So you would want to have Tom Holland around for that, and get Hardy as long as possible, because they want to bring.
Hardy's already signed a multi movie deal.
Oh yeah. Oh, which I mean, like I said, he was fantastic in that movie. I can't wait to see that second one.
I like
stupid. Oh yeah, they would be stupid to let him go, because like I said, if you ask someone within the past 10 years who's their favorite Spider-Man, they're gonna say Tom Holland. That's the only one that they know. But since we've seen all 3, it's based on, I'm always gonna go back to based on when those movies were made. They got the right guys for those movies because they did good in that movie. Would I want to see Tobey Maguire play this role with Robert Downey Jr. and all the guys in these movies? No, because he doesn't fit there. You need a young guy. But with Iron Man leaving, Captain America gone, all these other guys that are slowly leaving that have made movies for the past 10, 15 years, with Spider-Man being only 2 solos deep and a couple, Avengers movies, he's going to be the next, I think, that they're going to keep around. So that 3 Spider-Man movie could be turned into
6.
6. So they can bring it. So the last 1 or 2 could be a tied in with Venom and the Miles Morales, and then that whole Spider-Verse comes in. That's what I think. That's the best.
Miles, I think, is going to be a huge one too. I like Miles.
Well, they already got that green light for the sequel. The Spider-Verse, and they've already got
the green light for the live action.
Yeah, they've already got the green light for that. So I would love to see them tie it all together.
Bring it. Have I watched Bloodshot? No, I have not watched Bloodshot. Was it decent? I guess OTT said he enjoyed it. And I agree with you, Tori. Disney should just buy Sony, to be honest with you. They could easily buy Sony all day. Well, maybe not right now, but really they could. But I don't think they want to take that on right now. Jason David Frank should have played him. But we got Vin Diesel. But the movie is decent. Again, I can't comment on that. I haven't seen it yet, but maybe that's gonna have to be on my list of something I need to see.
Well, hold on. Bloodshot. That's the one when he's dead. They bring him back to life.
Yeah,
he's like a machine. Oh, okay. Yeah, I did see that movie then. Yeah, I saw it.
I saw the trailer, but I didn't watch the whole movie.
Yeah, I saw it when I think it was on HBO. One of those. I saw that it was on there and stuff, just because it was brand new, and I didn't really care for it. It wasn't bad, but I didn't really care for it.
Yeah, like I said, I'll get to it eventually. It'll be. Actually, that's right. There was one of those movies I went straight to video on demand, something like that. No,
I think it was supposed to be in theaters, or it was in theaters for like a short amount of time.
I think that was one of those movies that came out just before COVID had started, and then of course everything got pulled off. But I'm just gonna bring out one last movie before we end all this tonight. And I want to see it, and I'm probably gonna buy it probably in the next week or so. New Mutants. Who's seen it? Anyone? What's our take on it? It was in the theaters. I just saw it was on Apple Movies the other day, so you can buy it for $20 right now. I've heard very good things about the New Mutants movie.
This is the one that they had to reshoot. Like they reshot the whole thing or something.
They didn't reshoot the whole thing. They reshot a lot of different parts because it was
right. It's got the little system game. Okay, I know. All right, yeah.
It's very dark. It borderlines on. It's supposed to borderline on the whole horror genre as well for it. But man, I think it looks. And from the trailers, it looks fantastic.
I knew that this movie got beat up early on when it was being made. That it was just had terrible reviews.
But at least I can respect that if you're getting a lot of bad reviews, that Sony's going to sit up here and say, okay, we screwed up. Let's readjust. Before we bring it out. I can respect that. If Sony's willing to put up the money to reshoot, do it, man. Don't be a DC and put up a half shit movie. Sorry. I'm gonna toss DC under the bus because they make crap movies. They just do. Great comic books. Some of their comic books are some of the best. But they make horrible movies. Well,
Wonder Woman was good. I like
unless they get Christopher Nolan to direct it. Or wasn't it the first two Batmans with Michael Keaton? Was
Tim Burton?
Tim Burton.
Yep. Burton did the
Dark.
I know he did the first one. Yeah. He did the first two. He did the first two Batman.
So, but anyway, let's see. I want to get back. Let's see real quick. Fox movie. Huh? Oh yeah, well yes. New Mutants was a Fox movie before Disney put it out, and they just decided. I think Disney might have been part of those refilming because they didn't like how it was turning out. And I think the strongest thing that the MCU has on their side is they have Kevin Feige. Kevin Feige is controlling all of MCU. And the greatest thing about Kevin Feige is he was a comic book kid. He probably out of anybody around wants to see these characters get their due justice because he was a comic book kid. He lived these characters. And so I think the greatest thing MCU has is they have Kevin Feige.
And what they've been doing with them since the first Iron Man movie is fantastic. Mm-hmm. I don't know what the hell they're doing with DC because we should have the same Batman, Wonder Woman, Superman, Flash for the same amount of time as we've had the Marvel characters. Yeah. We should have been having, Gal, and Curry and all these other ones. They should have already had a couple movies each and a couple Justice Leagues and, they should have been, battling each other, DC, Marvel. But Marvel is this, and DC is just.
It's still staying there. Like, it just stays there.
When are they going to get a step stool and a ladder and do some actual work to get up here? They're just comfortable with screwing up all these iconic characters. that were so big for so long, and then all of a sudden, Marvel just comes and just wipes the floor with them.
Oh yeah.
Because I mean, I love Marvel, but I'm a fan of DC. I love Spider-Man. I mean, Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, all these guys.
And yes, Tori, I'm not taking away. I know New Mutants was Fox. That was pretty much Fox's last movie before Disney bought them out. But that was also, they were also buying, Disney was buying them around the same time that movie was in production. So I wouldn't doubt that Disney didn't have some say in that. Now they rushed Dark Phoenix out, and Dark Phoenix was a piece of shit. But you know, that's just, I mean, I'm not gonna say that's my opinion. That was everybody's opinion. Dark Phoenix was horrible. But I think from everything I've heard other people talk about New Mutants, and I think it's really, really good. So that's on my list to go see. But as OTT with G just said, he's got to take off. He's got to get to sleep. I'm the same way. It's been a long day for me. Will, want to appreciate you coming on, hanging out with me,
man. I appreciate
all kinds of stuff. Chat, hey, thank you for coming on, joining, and being a part of the show, as that is something I want to continue doing with this TechBot After Dark. I know in the beginning we kind of got sidetracked. We weren't paying attention to the chat as much as we should. But to me, this whole show is tied into the chat. We want to make sure you guys are brought into this as much as possible. I know that with me and Will, we've done this plenty of times. We get to talking about stuff. We just get to talking. But Will, before I let you go,
anything and everything, so it works out good.
Yeah, exactly. Will, before you go, what you got coming up?
I got more videos dropping next week on Tuesdays, Thursdays. I actually just passed 300 the same night that K&L did. So I'm over 3, so I'll be doing a 300 live stream in the next couple weeks. Just I definitely won't be doing as many giveaways as I did for my 200, because that was the first one, and I didn't realize, like I said, it can overtake you and be overwhelming. So this one is, for me, I'm just going to be doing one big one at the end and focus in on just one winner versus multiples and all that type of stuff. But yeah, I got a lot of good stuff, a lot of grails possibly coming up in the next month and a half to show off.
Nice,
so
nice.
Yeah, and I'm going to be getting back into my Saturday sports shows eventually. I got some filmed. I'm not sure when I want to get that back out there, but I want to stick with my pops, but I also want to get back to my sports and do at least my Saturday videos with that again. So I'm trying to get back into it, but with work and all, it's kind of tough to do.
You do got to feel you got to change it up from time to time. I mean, my channel is all about the mystery boxes and the Funkos and stuff like that. But I mean, even I'm going to start branching out to doing a little bit more Disney stuff, since I have Disney in my backyard. So
yes, I'm going to make videos and put out what I want to put out. If someone doesn't want to watch it, it's not going to hurt my feelings. But I don't want to put out stuff where I don't like it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, I mean, if I don't want to watch my own video that I put out, what's the point of putting it out there?
Exactly.
So,
you want to be able to put out good
content. If one video gets less views, it gets less views. I mean, that's, I can't control it. So.
Plus, changing it up from time to time helps clear the mind and get ready to go back and do it and stuff like that. But anyways, buddy, hey guys, if you guys are watching the replay on this, if you guys are watching live, definitely go over and hit Will B Poppin. I put all his information in the description down below, his IG and his YouTube channel. Go over there, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell, and definitely give him a big like. We will continue, keep on going. But yes, Will, thank you very much for joining me. We will have to do this again another time, but definitely it's time to go to bed for me. So
you've been up for 3 days. Yeah.
So for everybody else out there, thank you guys for joining. Don't forget to smash that like button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't done so already, and don't forget, do what you like, do what you love, and always unleash your inner nerd, guys. Y'all have a great one.